All right, and if you can't hear me, let me know and I'll do this. So I'm Greg. Welcome to the M12 Community Open Day. I'm an urban designer with transport, so I've been working on this project since 2016. It's very exciting for me to see it come to the conclusion, and yeah, hopefully we'll take you through. You can see some stuff that we've been doing over the past few years. And as we start, well, before we really get too far into it, I'm just going to do an acknowledgement of country. So we've been working with the Darug community on this project over the past 10 years. So I'd like to acknowledge that we're on Darug land today, pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, and I guess acknowledge this beautiful landscape of Western Sydney that we'll see today. Alright, and they've given me a script of a whole bunch of facts about the motorway, so we'll run through a few of those as we go. So, but if you've got any questions, yell out and I'll try and answer them as well. Alright, so we're coming on to the airport, or what's called Warami Drive. That will actually take you also through from the motorway into the airport. And the project was built by three main construction contractors, so we're in the west portion, so this is M12 West, and there's a central and an eastern portion. The eastern portion is still finishing construction, but this part was built by CPB contractors in a joint venture with Giorgio. $600 million for the west, $427 million for the central bit, and $1.8 billion for the east, and that's also including the M7 widening, which some of you have probably seen through as you were coming in today, depending where you came from. Yeah, we head through under this bridge and stop at the base of the Emu. A few more facts. So it's 6.2 kilometres the west section, and it includes this airport interchange and Warami Drive into the airport. There's 3.7 kilometres of Elizabeth Drive upgrade as well to tie it all in. We'll come back to some of the more hard and fast facts, but we're about to stop. We can get out for a couple of minutes here and have a look at what we're seeing as the centrepiece of some of the Aboriginal cultural interpretation of the project. Yeah, here. Here. We're stopping here for a few minutes, so jump out and have a look around, and I'll talk to you more when we're out the bus. No pressure to get off. If you feel like you just got on, you don't need to get off.
One stage, one go.
I'll get you to sort of not move too far away because there'll be another bus coming through pretty soon.
Over.
Alright, so just quickly, this sculpture has been designed by the Darug community. It's basically tells the story of the great emu in the sky, which is part of the Darug folklore, but similar. It's basically visible across Australia. The actual the story. Basically, within the Milky Way there's a dark spot, and that's got a vague emu shape. So across Australia, different Aboriginal communities tell that story of the great emu in the sky. So when we turn the lights on this sculpture, they're not on at the moment. As you come out of the airport, you'll be able to see the emu outline in a sitting form. And as you move around it, it disappears and then coalesces into a flying form as you go past it. So it's an important story of the community, and they've basically said we want this story to be told to people who arrive in Western Sydney. Then along the motorway shared path, and this is the shared path running in front of us, which goes all the way to the Northern Road and the M7 and into the airport. There's another, I guess, story of the 6 seasons of Darug culture. So each of these what they call rest nodes has some planting, and this eucalypt canopy which reflects the colours of the season the 6 direct seasons rather than the 4, I guess, Western seasons that we're familiar with. So a whole bunch of steel was put into this dome, and then we've clad it in stainless steel, which reflects the emu nest, and there's light poles around it which basically reflect light at night, but during the day that stainless steel will pick up the light from the sun. It's a bit cloudy today, but yeah, hopefully we'll get the lights on a bit later today, so when we come out we'll be able to see it, but there's a few issues finding the switch. Someone's looking for it. Any questions otherwise we'll jump back into the bus. All right. Thanks. So this is the path you take if you come in from the airport and heading towards Sydney. When we come back through or go out, we'll take the opposite way, airport to Penrith and the Blue Mountains. So this is the experience you'll get. We're going under the, about to go under the Metro Bridge. So the Metro originally, well, when it opens, that's next year, will run from St Mary's Station to the airport and to Bradfield, the city centre that's to the south of the new airport. It's just shuttle service, and then you can join onto the main rail network there. There's some corridor work that's happening to join it all up to the broader network, but that's a few years away. What facts have I got here? Might notice, or you may not notice, any noise coming up the pavement, and when we stop and get out at the top, we might see that there's a whole bunch of grooves running longitudinally along the pavement. That's to improve ride quality and also reduce the amount of noise that comes off the motorway surface. It's kind of newish technology that's been sort of rolling out over the past 10 years to really improve the ride quality here. And you know that the faster you go, the smoother it is. That's not an invite to go at 150, but yeah, when you're going at 60, it feels more bumpy, but when you're at 100, it actually feels a lot more smoother. Sorry?
It's all grooving.
It's all grooved, yeah, all this grooving, yeah.
Feel nice.
Feels smooth? Yep.
How does it affect motorcycles?
That's a good question.
Yeah, every time they've tried this, it ends up tracking us all over the place.
Oh, okay. You might want to ask some of the pavement experts about that.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of infrastructure happening in Western Sydney. So over on the left here, Sydney Water's building a massive water recycling plant. So that'll actually take wastewater and convert it into potable water for reuse. And yeah, it's sort of a big kind of exercise that they've undertaken, and I don't think we knew how big it was going to be when we started, otherwise we might have screened it a bit more, but it's infrastructure on display. So we're now in the central section of the project. So we've come through the interchange. We're now across the floodplain of South Creek, Waianamatta. So it's a lot flatter here. We're sort of sitting in a flatter, more undulating, or less undulating landscape. And coming up to one of the 6 bridges which talk about the Mariong emu creation story. So these bridges track the course of creation over a year. So this is when the emu has left the nest, it's sitting, and the chicks sit in the water holes. So it's coming into a drier season. So these bridges sort of appear, all the overbridges on the motorway have one of these artworks on them. 40. Other fun facts, we've got 32 kilometres of drainage pipe in the project, 815 drainage pits. We've got basically, we've had to relocate a whole bunch of utilities outside the motorway. So when we came here, there was water lines, power lines, sewer running across it, and we've basically moved them outside the motorway corridor because we want this to be a clean site. So if something goes wrong with the power line, we don't have to close the motorway to get to it. People can come in and get to it from other ways. What else have we got? 21 major bridges in the project. We're going across the Kemps Creek Bridge now. This is part of this floodplain system. We've got Kemps, South Creek and Badgerys Creek, which all sit in this lower part of the site. And then either end of the project there's a ridge lines which we come in either at the northern road at the far end on the west, or when you come in off the M7 you come off high ground and then down quite a big hill into the floodplain itself. So we started construction in 2022. That was after 6 years of planning. It's basically quicker to build the project than it is to plan it, basically, just because of the amount of complexity and negotiation, property acquisition, planning approval. It's relatively easy to build this, even though it's quite a complex project, because we're offline, so we're not widening existing road. We're in a paddock basically, so there's less encumbrances on the builders. So it's been relatively easy compared to the M7 widening, which is into the median on a live bit of motorway.
What's the cost of the whole project?
Cost of the M12 is about 1.8 billion all up.
With the airport?
Cost of the airport. Last I heard for the airport was about 5 or 6 billion.
Wow.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's right.
Six and a half altogether.
Maybe, yeah. So there's some airport people at the activation site under the bridge. So if you want to find out about the airport, we can find out there.
Just curious.
Yeah. So we've got Western Sydney Parklands either side of this part of the motorway. So we've been working with them. There was a mountain bike trail which ran through here, so we've relocated that within the parklands and improved the facilities at the trailhead in consultation with them. So if you want to bring your mountain bike, you can get to the motorway, into the shared path along the motorway, run into the mountain bike trail and then head home.
Sounds interesting.
Alright, so we're coming into the M7 interchange part of the site. It's a live construction site, so we'll be driving through under escort, but we can stop at part of it, get out and have a look at one of the bridges over the M7. When we get there, it'll be all, I guess, taped off where we can and can't go. We don't want you too close to the edge and drop your phone onto the motorway, so keep everything with you, keep your wits around you, or about you, and we'll get out there and have a look.
So when's it going to be opened?
So the M12 will open, I think mid next month, so mid-March. This part will be around the middle of the year. So there's a couple of connections that we're building on to Elizabeth Drive. I'll point out on the way back that you'll be able to get on from Elizabeth Drive without this bit being finished and then use the rest of the motorway. Yeah, this bit started later, and because it's tied up with the M7 widening, which was a separate project, it's now looking to open in about middle of the year. Which is why they're working on a Saturday. They're trying to get it finished. Been onto this site in this formation for, like, I've been on the Western Central sites during construction. I haven't been here, so this is all new to me, so I'm having a good gawk as we go through. So we're about to get on the bridge that takes you from the M12 south to places like, I guess, towards Campbelltown and Canberra. So this is this bridge. It's one of two incrementally launched viaducts that have been built for this interchange. So what that means is there's a spot on the abutment where they cast the bridge girder, and then they push it out under hydraulic jacks, and then build the next section, push that out, build the next section, push it out. So none of the construction is over the motorway, it's all on land, and then they just launch the bridge through pressure. And that's what we're seeing here. This bridge is on a constant curve where it's just been launched from this abutment here out towards the other one, and it just rests on the piers as it goes. So it's quite a safe way to build stuff. We didn't think it could close the motorway underneath to actually build it, and that was, I guess, a big factor in why that method was chosen. So we might pull there, let people out, you go and turn around. Alright, so when we get out, keep away from the edge of the barrier. You probably want to keep as far back as that tape, but these people will guide you through the site.
Hello, how you going?
Good.
All good? If you want to come out and have a look, just ask if you just leave your hats and things, just in case they get blown over into live traffic. You can bring your phones and everything else, but just keep your hats. Thanks. Off to you.
Thank you.
No worries.
Probably never get to walk on the bridge every day unless you break down.
It's funny because I just thought it was the line the other day and mentioned so I used to tell them, this is Elizabeth Drive, and I remember that it's all right.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. A lot to do still, but it'll be done by it's February now, by June.
Look how much work.
Every week.
Every week you go, we used to while we were stuck in all that easy.
Alright, so the concrete facts that I have. So the westbound bridge, that's that long one, is 660 metres long, and it's the longest incrementally launched bridge in Australia. There we go. There's 16,000 cubic metres of concrete in these bridges, which is 106,000 bathtubs, and 5,300 elephants in weight.
Okay.
So I don't know who's come up with these facts, but
Yeah, very relatable.
yes, that's right. If you know how much an elephant weighs, yeah.
Does it give it any estimate in the waves?
Yeah, no whale, we haven't got the whale conversion.
Well, 20 elephants equals 1 whale.
Oh, there you go. All right, so we'll do the maths.
Estimation, huh?
We'll go with banana for scale.
That's right.
Elephants eater.
Just follow that one.
Let's come on.
So as far as I understood, the Mascot Airport will just stay there.
Yeah, Mascot's not changing as part of this.
Not change it.
No, so this is additional capacity for airport. So,
Not for the international.
sorry,
Not for the international or domestic?
this domestic and international services here.
Right.
I think there's a bit of an article saying the first passenger flights will be about September, October this year. So, and I guess there's a huge catchment of people. So it's like half the people in Sydney live within. This will be the closer airport.
Depends if the airline runs it from here.
So I think they're saying Qantas and Virgin are doing domestic services, and on opening, Air New Zealand and Singapore Airline will be providing international. But yeah, more facts at the airport stall under the bridge, where people who know the answers to those questions will be. So you can see here we're talking about where you come on. So this intersection will be lit up by the time we open. So they're scrambling to finish, and you'll get on. No, you get off the M12 at this intersection. We've just gone over a little kind of underpass. That's where you come on, and then we'll join in along all the way along here. And then once we're on here, we're on the M12. So you're heading there, is that right? Yeah.
Hope they fix that job.
That's good. What's good?
So you've only got one following.
It's 2 buses late.
Yeah, so
Next
you,
turn.
you guys are the first, so we've got full control over what happens. So, and I think we just set up a delay for the rest of the day, but that's fine. Okay, so we have planted 1.6 million tube stock as part of the project, and that includes 18,000 trees. Before the construction started, we had a seed collection program where we basically sent seed collectors out into this landscape to go through, pull seed out from plants, flower heads and plants that were flowering or setting seed, and then propagated those plants from that seed. So we were trying to reinstate the threatened cumberland plain flora as much as we can in the project. It's a bit hard to see because there's a bit of, I guess, cover crop in all these batters while we're getting the landscape established, but you can see some of the natives coming up through there. So that's a bit of something I think the project's been keen to give back where it can to the landscape. We're in quite hostile soil. The Western Sydney clay shrinks and expands when it gets wet. It's also highly sodium rich, so it's making some of these plants hard to grow. So we've been working hard with our contractors to get the kind of landscape outcome we wanted. You might have just picked up that there's a shared path which runs along the It's on our left here, so you can sort of see it with all these black light poles on it. At the point where we hit the Western Sydney Parklands, we actually diverted into the Parklands rather than running along the motorway up that steep hill. And then this, similar to the M7, it runs along the edge of the motorway, crisscrosses back and forth. You can actually ride into the airport, so we're hoping some commuter cyclists, people working in the airport will actually ride in. And it takes you all the way to the Northern Road, and then from there you can pick up on the Northern Road shared path to all that. So probably going to have a lower number of people use it than driving out, but it's still a big valuable link for people who might want to recreationally use it when this area develops, or commute to the airport, or head to the Wild Mountain Bike Trail. So moved about 3 million cubic metres of soil to build the motorway, about 1 million in the central section, 2 million in the west. That's the hillier land. So what we've basically done is taken all these cuts where we've got a hill cut into it and used that to fill up on the flatter area. So it's a low fill here, but we're coming into a cut as we go under the bridge, and that material's just been pushed around as much as we can to avoid bringing material in or having to take it away from the site. It's always a challenge to balance the material so we don't have to, bring 1,000 trucks a day into across people's kind of living rooms so they don't get the noise from the construction. If we can keep it all within the site, it's better environmentally and for the community as well. Sorry?
Unbelievable work done.
Unbelievable, yeah. It's a big project, yeah. This bit of land that the water recycling factory is built on was owned by the CSIRO, and they had a radio telegraph array here, built in several stages over the years. And that was the bit of research the CSIRO used to underpin the development of Wi-Fi. So when they developed Wi-Fi, it was off the back of some of the learnings they got from this site. You won't be able to see it today, but there's a couple of old telegraphs, sort of antennas lying down in the paddock. You might be able, they've spotted it. Yeah, it's in front of that tree. So we've been able to, oh yeah, there it is, there. There's a little small memorial there to that, these silver poles on the right here, next to the leaf canopy. There's a bit of interpretation, so if you do come in on the shared path, you can read more about that kind of aspect of the project. The other thing that used to be here was an aerodrome. So in World War II, they set up an airfield. Oh, there's people on the bikes already. Probably shouldn't be here, but there you go. No. Alright, we'll let people know when we get off. So there was an aerodrome that we basically had to cut in half on the motorways, and we've interpreted that as well. So you're following the WSI signs. Yeah. You can follow the blue sign, so you can use these 2 lanes.
I was thinking of another driver, so they might scared going in this loop.
Oh, do they? They'll be fine with it.
First line.
So the road into the airport that we're on now is called Warami Drive, so W-A-R-A-M-I, and that is the Darug language for welcome. So that's been worked through with the community and the airport to give it its name. So we want to make, I guess, the first impression people arriving from overseas might have, or people leaving Australia to head overseas. We want to make sure that the Darug culture is part of what people see and part of the welcome to country. Security doctor. So we're just about to pass the threshold from the M12 into the airport side. It's under this bridge. So we're now sort of on airport land, and we're heading into the terminal.
That will be our stop.
Yeah, that's where we're stopping right now. So parallel to us is the metro line that also comes into the terminal. It's still being built, but this bit of where you can see the crane or the concrete pump up ahead, that's the airport business park metro stop. So when the airport opens, they'll release this land for, I guess, supported activity. Probably, car hire might base themselves here. You might have, people who benefit from being close to an airport, establishing like in a light industrial area. So that's this station here, and then there's the terminal station itself, which is those big cranes up ahead. Well, this looks like,
Huge.
yeah, it's huge, yeah. It's all big infrastructure.
How do you, like, when you go to the train station, how do you get to the airport? Just walking?
Oh, there's another station up there. Yeah, so there's a station at the business park, and then there's a station where those cranes are right next to the terminal, and the terminal building's what you can see with that low slant roof off to the right.
It's huge.
Yeah, from the train station.
So all these are presumably parking.
This is parking all the business park land as well.
So we're going straight up.
You go straight up. Yeah. So we just do a drive. It's all very calm here today. I imagine once it opens, it'll be a hive of activity. So this is the metro site here, right next to the terminal. Eventually, so this is built out in stages. So this is half of the terminal, and then so they'll extend it that way when they hit a threshold of activity, and then they can mirror the same terminal arrangement on the other side, and the second runway will also be built at that time. So there's only one runway to start.
It's a fair walk from the station to the airport.
Yeah, what is it, a couple of 100 meters? Yeah, if you got luggage, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how the connection will work. There might be travel laters, or there might be a shorter way to do it. We're not maybe not worth seeing it at the moment, but yeah. When you get the train to Sydney Airport, it feels like you got to do a bit of a walk too.
Yeah, but it's underneath, so
Yeah.
it's actually not that far.
No.
That looked a lot longer.
Yeah, I don't know the exact route, but yeah, you're right. So that metro won't be open till next year, but there will be a free shuttle running between St Mary's and the airport when the airport opens. There's also additional bus services, not free, but passenger bus services running from, I think, Campbelltown and Penrith to the airport as well. So those there'll be public transport to the airport when it opens.
Taxi here from Sydney.
There'll be a taxi, and
That's before you.
I don't know if everyone will realise they're coming to this airport and realise they need to be over the other one or vice versa. So I'm sure people will be fully informed.
Maybe taxi fare would be cost above international flight too.
Well, that's right. Yeah, it will be cheaper to fly to New Zealand than it is to get the taxi.
No, they've restricted the taxi fares. They've locked them in.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're locking in.
They can't. You can only charge a certain amount. That's it.
Okay, to get out. That's good.
People will work it out.
So what we'll do, we're going to pull up under that bridge that we came in on. There's some stalls, I think, face painting, some more information. Not sure if the barbecues are fired up just yet. They might be. And you can get out there, spend a bit of time there, and then pick up one of the next buses to come through. Or you can stay on this bus and we'll head back to the start point. And the tour continues further west. But yeah, you won't need to worry about getting on a bus. They'll just sort of come through and keep on doing loops throughout the day. So.
The world's so beautiful here.
Oh yeah. Also lucky with the weather today. It's not 40 degrees. It's only 25. There's been some hot days here. It gets cold in winter. So yeah. The rain's holding on the drive. So you were on that orientation.
That's it?
You were on the first bus that we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No,
got the
no.
80
Right, right. So you just have to go
Cars just over
around here.
before the bus.
Oh,
Yep.
oh, I see.
Oh, where's the bus park?
Yeah, there's probably no one behind you. So we'll just pull over.
You want me to?
I think we pull over here and people can walk down. You might want to be on that side.
Yeah. I just better just overtake him and just
Yeah.
pull over here.
Yeah, we do that. Then people can wander down.
Just pull over here.
Yeah, perfect.
You get a free pen.
Yeah.
Alright folks, you're welcome to go and enjoy whatever's happening down here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're on.
Hi there.
Hello.
How are you? So,
How's it going?
yes.
Good.
So these
It's
are
actually
our
good to see.